I'm Joe Reel,
And I'm Peter Gill.
and this is Two Men Talking Movies.
Say what again? Say what again?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Get off my plane. Here's Johnny. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Good day, sir.
You ever dance with the devil in the pit? I am the father.
Beats. We can kill it.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Two men
Talking movies.
Welcome to another episode of Two Men Talking Movies. I'm your host, Joe Reel.
I'm the other host, Peter Gill.
Oh, you got it. You got it that time.
Nice.
He said, I'm the other host. I usually have to add that in for you. Cool.
Yeah. I learn.
You learn. So what's new this week?
Well, I've been working out, getting
You
those
look like it.
gains.
Those calves are looking nice.
Yeah, I only do one leg day though.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
But you do a lot of cardio though too, right?
I do some rowing. I row like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. Cool.
But I don't do too much cardio. I'm focusing.
Right.
On
You don't want to cut down on that muscle tissue that you're growing.
Yeah, or trying to go.
Yeah.
There's gains, getting the gains.
True.
CrossFit.
Are you doing any kind of special dieting or no?
I am low carbing it.
Low carb?
Which is usually the opposite of what you try to do when you bulk.
Yeah. What do you consider low carbs? Do you have a goal, or are you just in general avoiding breads and rice and stuff like that?
Breads, mainly breads, and trying to avoid sugar as much as possible. No sodas. Low carb. Like I'll have a bowl of rice.
Okay.
Because gluten-free rice is kind of almost it's a decent carb to have. And
So it's like brown rice.
Yeah, a lot of peanut butter, protein shakes, 2 protein shakes.
Nice.
So,
Are you feeling better? Do you
yeah,
notice that?
I feel great.
Cool.
Usually I have some lower back pain, but when I work out more regularly, I don't really have that.
Okay. What do you think the lower back pain's from?
A decision I made to do a bunch of water skiing and
I know you like to bend over a lot at work.
tubing. I walked right into that one. Sheesh, or backed right into that one, I guess. No, I was water tubing. I got thrown off a water tube, hit my back on the water just right, and it hurt for a while, and it hasn't been right since.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago, maybe.
Wow. Have you seen a physical therapist for that?
No,
I think maybe you should.
nah.
You know, back injuries can start out small, and slowly over time they get worse. A lot worse.
Thank you, Dr. Real.
I'm just telling you.
Did you read that on Wikipedia?
No, so at my job they have a health initiative,
Nice.
and we just went through something
You guys
called.
overweight over there?
A lot of people are, yeah. Mainly, it's to cut down on cost of insurance, and also to get a star status from OSHA. Do you know what OSHA is?
Yes.
Okay.
Occupational Safety Hazard Association.
Yeah, great. Yep. So we went through some training recently called BENS training. BENS training stands for back, eyes, and knees.
Not neck.
Not neck, knees. So they capitalize the N in knee. So there's like a K, the little K in
So
there.
they spell it wrong.
No, they spell it right, but it just looks weird. It's kind of a stretch, but
I get it.
yeah. So one of the things they talk about in back, eyes, and knees is back. So we discussed those and how a lot of people get back injuries and don't do anything about them, and they don't go away. They kind of just numb out, and eventually they come back and get worse and worse. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I don't think it's gotten worse.
Well, hopefully it doesn't.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Back surgery is a serious thing.
Yeah. Not to be taken lightly.
Yeah. Back injuries are serious, Peter.
I know. It doesn't hurt. It's just kind of like a little discomfort, I guess, is the best.
I think you should just go see a chiropractor or something. It might help.
Oh.
Just do it for me.
The real doctors? I should probably go see a real doctor before I go see a chiropractor.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your... You don't think a chiropractor's a real doctor?
No, he doesn't have an MD.
Okay.
They call themselves doctors, but they're not really doctors.
Gotcha.
I mean, they might know how to crack your back, but doesn't mean they're a real doctor.
True.
Quack your back.
Quack your back. Yeah, nice. Well, so basically going on with new with me is let's see.
How's the creative mind doing these days?
It is going slow. So I'm having a really hard time getting guests on there. What a lot of people I talk to, they answer back, but they want me to already be a successful show. And since I just started, I'm not successful yet. I need people to be on the show to get more downloads, more clicks, more listens, you know.
Well,
And
maybe you tell them that you are really trying to get this thing going. You would really appreciate their effort.
I've had some maybes, and I've had some people say yes. I just have to figure out their schedule and my schedule and make it work. But
Yeah, your
I
people
think
gotta talk
I mean
to their
it's
people.
it's going slow, but it's gonna work out. It'll work out.
Yeah.
And once I get a couple episodes under my belt and the downloads go up, and I can tell people, oh, I've had this person on my show, this person, then I'll start getting more
Nice.
guests. Yeah, and also summer. So I'm hunting down for a lot of bands, which is really bad to do for the summer because everybody's touring. So
Yeah, Warp Tour.
yeah. Is that the only tour you know?
That's the only one you go to, right? Warp Tour?
I've been to Warped Tour, I think, once or twice in my life.
Yeah. You seem like a guy who would go to Warp Tour.
Thanks, I guess.
You're welcome.
You seem like a guy that would go to
Rascal Flatts? Yes. Done.
Nickelback.
Listen to this phonograph.
Or no, you seem more like a guy who would go to an Alicia Keys concert.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I could get into it, Alicia.
I think you could easily.
I went to a Fish concert once.
No, you did.
Yes, I did. Right here in Portsmouth.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting.
How did you manage that?
Someone had an extra ticket. It was my birthday. They gave it to me.
Wow. That
Yeah.
sounds cool. Was that an experience?
It was in between that and Fall Out Boy, so I went to Fish.
Nice. I think, I probably would have done Fish too, just for the experience.
It's quite the experience. I didn't have that type of an experience, but it was an experience.
You didn't have the full experience.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wasn't on shrooms or anything.
I hear you. So another thing I'm doing is I just got accepted into Regent University.
Law school.
No, I'm going to their film school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks. Yeah. Kind of came out of nowhere.
They just offered it to you out of nowhere? You didn't
Yeah, they
apply?
came to me.
Oh, they found you, huh?
They love this podcast so much. They said, you need to make film.
Wait, why didn't it come to me?
Well, I think you said
This is getting awkward.
that you
It's okay. I don't want to know.
Our last episode, you brought us the trailer of Monster Truck, so I think.
Oh, that really sealed the deal for him?
Yeah.
No.
So I think actually the last guest I had on the Creative Mind pushed me to make that jump because I've always thought of filmmakers as people who have been in filmmaking basically their whole life. You know, they started out young or they had family members that were in the film industry, and it's just
Ron Howard.
Yeah. A lot of these big directors and producers you see, they all come from families that have been in this somehow.
Michael
you know?
Bay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I never thought I would be able to do it. It was just a pipe dream, and I didn't really, I was like, that's not realistic. I need to get a real job, or a real degree. No offense, as my calculus teacher used to say, people who go to get degrees in art end up as baristas after they graduate.
Wow.
Yeah,
And he teaches calculus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so at a college though.
What, ODU?
No, trash can college.
Trash Can College?
TCC. No,
TCC from Here Go Nowhere?
No, he does teach at ODU too. He was an awesome teacher. But yeah,
sure
that
he
was
is,
that was his take on
Let's
art
be
degrees. I
honest.
thought it was hilarious. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing now is a Bachelor of Arts in Cinema and TV. That's what it's called there. So, I'm
I hope he goes to Starbucks and he says that and someone spits in his coffee. That's
he
not
was
very
he
nice.
was kidding. He was kidding.
I don't think so.
He was making
There's always a little bit of truth
the
in every
whole
joke.
the whole class was filled with math and science nerds. So
So they all snorted.
they're all like, yeah, because they were all engineer students. So they were like, yeah.
Got it.
So, but yeah, so I'm excited. I've already started working on some scripts. What was one of the things I was told is right now I need to start trying to get scripts or just get movie scripts under my belt. Like, just start writing them, even if they're not good. Just have them. So yeah, I haven't started actually writing the scripts, but I've already come up with some plots, and I'm kind of getting my, I guess they'd call it storyboarding, where you get your ideas together and stuff.
Well, if you ever need any leading roles, man, I'm right here for you. I'm a triple threat.
Awesome. What is the triple threat for those who don't know?
For those that don't know, the triple threat is those who can sing, act, and dance.
Nice. So we will release a video sometime in the future of you singing,
If this
acting,
podcast
and dancing all at
hits
once.
10,000 downloads, yes, you will find my singing, acting, and dancing on YouTube.
Nice. So who will you be acting as a character?
I don't know. Whoever.
Because you need to do the triple threat all in one video, not like a video of you acting, then a video of you dancing. You need to do it all in one thing.
Maybe like a Batman musical. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Awesome. There you go. There we have it.
Hey, don't steal my ideas.
So, what'd you say, 1,000 downloads?
10,000.
Ooh, that's a steep hill to climb. 10,000 downloads. So you heard it here. So share this with your friends. If we get 10,000 downloads.
I will see.
Wait, that's in general. That's not just this episode, right?
No, in general.
In general. So a cumulative of all the episodes we've released so far. Once we hit 10,000 downloads, Peter will do a video acting as Batman
and dancing.
and dancing and singing a
Means
song.
I gotta get a Batman costume and everything.
So are you going to write the song?
No, my producer will.
Okay. I can write the music for you. Do you want me to write music for you?
Yeah, write the music for me.
You want to write the lyrics?
I would like for it to be like maybe a hip hop Batman. Maybe I can do some hip hop moves.
Okay.
You know, a little
Cool. Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
twist. It's not classic.
Yeah.
Maybe a little hip hop. I'll spit some bars.
Awesome. And listeners, you should give us some ideas for this. We're going to put a post about this up, and
Oh no, this
Yeah.
is really happening.
we're going to fish for some ideas, like what should happen in this video. I don't think it should be too long. Maybe like a minute, 2 minutes. It'll be like a scene.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
a few bars
Yeah.
in a costume.
Batman the Musical.
Yeah,
Cool. Starring Peter Gill.
the dark hip hop. The hip hop begins. The hip hop begins. The hip hop returns.
The hip hop rises.
There you go. Boom. That's what it's called. That's it right there. The hip
The
hop.
hip hop rises and drops.
Oh boy, this is
And the bass, the hip hop rises and the bass drops.
This will probably never happen.
Oh, the Batman rise, the Dark Knight rises and the bass drops. There we go.
Drop them freaking mic.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. All right, welcome to another segment of Trailer Trash, where we trash on trailers. Not really. It's just a clever name for our segment.
I love how you have to like give like a in parentheses to all your jokes.
Oh boy.
What are we talking about this week? How many movies you got for us, Peter?
I've got about 3 different movies that trailers recently came out that I kind of want to go over. First one is Marauders, starring none other than Bruce Willis. And looks like he plays a leading role in a villain, maybe. And looks like this group who...
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen Bruce Willis in a movie.
Expendables, 1, 2, or 3.
Oh, yep, you got me there.
Boom. So Bruce Willis is in this. It looks like the villain. And it looks like there is some type of terrorist group who goes around kidnapping people, but actually they're leading law enforcement, a.k.a. Law and Order star, whatever that guy's name is.
It's basically a feature film. It's a Law and Order feature film.
No, it's not. It's like a bank heist / Law and Order. But anyways, it looks pretty good. It looks action-packed. And the trailer looks like it didn't give too much away, even though they're hinting at him being a villain and hiding stuff. But I'll probably see this maybe after theaters, maybe towards the late end. I don't know. I will definitely see this movie, though, because I am a sucker for bank movies, robbing movies, that type of thing.
Yeah, I think I'll watch it. It looks good. I love Bruce Willis in any action movie. And
Even in Expendables?
no, yeah, you're right. I say I don't.
Sorry.
Should we even consider Expendables a movie?
I think that's just like
It's more of a long,
mistake.
yeah, a long mistake was cut up into 3 parts, totaling like 6 hours. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you make these wide sweeping generalizations, let's try to take and consider all of Bruce Willis's work. But next up, we have Snowden, which is a very hot topic now with NSA and the political world totally ignoring it, and Hollywood screaming, saying, no, this is a real problem. We all have real issues with what the NSA is doing. And those of you who don't know, if you don't know, but most likely you do, Snowden released a bunch of NSA secrets on how they're spying on a lot of us. They collect all of our phone data, all of our phone records, and they say they're not listening to individual calls, but he released times where they were.
So they're probably listening to us talk about this.
I
Right
hope so.
now. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Stick it to the man.
If you are listening, please download, because that's what counts in this world.
Download. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, we just actually hit the 3-year anniversary from when Snowden released all this stuff. Yeah. It was June 5th.
Pretty polarizing.
Can't believe that was 3 years ago. Doesn't seem that long, does it?
Yeah. No, it doesn't actually.
Yeah. I actually just watched a documentary on HBO about him.
You have HBO?
Yeah, called Citizen 4.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that?
No, I didn't. But
You
I've heard
should.
of it.
It's really good, really good. It's an inside look. Basically, it's everything that was happening from Snowden's point of view during the time that he released all of the information.
Oh, so he went to Russia and all that mess.
Well, he was hiding out in China, and
Yeah. That's right.
and these
Hong Kong.
yeah, he reached out to I think 3 journalists, and they all came in secret and recorded all this stuff. And he told them like we're gonna release it slowly at this time. You see how it was all planned from his point of view. It was awesome, yeah.
Nice.
And I actually had never even really known anything about Snowden other than what we saw from the news here.
Yeah.
So it definitely unveils the character that he really was.
You should read his Reddit AMA. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting is that he's able to have such reach on the internet because
Yeah.
he knows how to avoid all this, the stuff where they want to block him and trap him and stuff like that.
Yeah, he knows how to.
Yeah, he
actually
encrypts
make
everything.
things-
Yeah,
Yep.
he ran this stuff. Something from the movie though that looks to be false from the trailer I noticed was that
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage was not there at the event.
Yeah, but he's in the movie.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I'm going to go see this movie.
Yeah, I love Nicolas Cage too, and
Well,
maybe we'll see him yelling the beast.
oh man, I hope he's riding a motorcycle as Ghost Rider.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. So, but actually, Edward Snowden never worked for. He wasn't employed by the NSA. He was employed by a contracting company and worked with them at the NSA. For the NSA. So the NSA was not his official.
He wasn't a government employee. He was just a government contractor working in the government.
Yeah.
But a lot of those government contractors actually work on government pay scale, which is even weirder.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, it's gonna be an amazing story. It looks like a great movie.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has an interesting accent. Like he kind of sounds like Snowden.
He looks like him other than his hair being darker, but he does they made him. You can tell he studied Snowden and kind of figured out his mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's gonna be a great movie.
So we just watched the newest trailer from The Shallows, which looks like it is a girl who loves to surf in a place called Paradise. But there's just one thing wrong. There's a shark. I like Jaws. I'll probably watch this movie maybe when it comes on TV. Or maybe
when it comes on TV.
Or I mean, it doesn't look like a bad movie. I thought it was pretty good, but it looks like she's on this rock and the tide's coming in. She has to swim to a buoy.
Yeah, she's like the shark attack happens. She's stranded at the beach, but she finds a rock, and like you said, it's in the water, but it's for the time being, it's keeping her safe until the tide comes in, and then she's screwed because the shark's gonna be able to get to her.
Right, and so there happens to be this buoy next to her, and she swims to it. So it looks pretty good. I mean,
hopefully it's good. These movies are always, like
this will be an average movie.
I don't know.
This will just be an average movie.
I mean, it looks like a good shark attack movie, compared to what we've had in the past.
Deep Blue Sea.
Oh my gosh, was that the one with LL Cool J?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't there an animated shark film with Will Smith? That was a thing, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. There's also that movie.
Yeah. But I mean, compared to Jaws and Open Water, I mean, it looks good. It looks like it might be, something maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have too high hopes. It was just on the list.
I do. I hope it's gonna be good.
I think you are going to be disappointed.
I probably will be. That's how most of the time it ends up. But we'll see.
So next up, we have Star Trek Beyond, which is the third installment of the Star Trek franchise, the newest one. And we just watched the second trailer, and it looks like Captain Kirk is maybe having some daddy issues. He wants to live up to what his dad, why his dad joined the international.
Space Battle Squadron. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm
So
sure
why
all the Star Trek fans are cussing us out right now.
Please don't hate us. But I don't really know much about the Star Trek world. Didn't watch any of the other shows.
You saw the movies though, right?
Yeah, I saw the movies.
Yeah. The newest ones.
I saw the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
because I have a little bit of a crush on
Darkness
him.
Beyond or Star Trek
Into
Darkness. This
yes.
one's called Beyond. The first
Beyond.
one was just called
The Land Before Time.
Yes.
And so it looks like there is an alien out there who has it out for the humans once again, and he wants to exact vengeance on maybe some past mistake. And looks like Captain Kirk is in a sitch. Spock looks like he's same old Spock. So this looks good. I'm always a sucker for these Star Trek movies. I always think I'm not going to go watch them, but I end up watching them. So I'll probably end up going seeing this in theater just out of principle.
Just out of principle.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact.
Yeah, because I mean it's a Star Trek movie. If you're gonna watch that, you gotta watch it in theaters. That's the best experience, in my opinion, right? Star Trek.
I guess so. Is that all we have for trailers?
Yes, that's all we have for trailer trash. We're a little low on trailer trash these days. A lot of these movies are coming out. It's not
Well, what we're seeing is movies we already know about, but they're just releasing new trailers for it. So
Right.
it's the same. It's just recut with a little bit extra scenes.
So we have the trailer phase. We have the teaser. No. We have the poster. Then we have the teaser trailer. Then we have the trailer. And then we have the second follow-up trailer. That's usually what we find at, or what we end up having. So a lot of good stuff coming out here pretty soon. I think Dory's coming out, Finding Dory. So looking forward to that. Another Pixar film.
So next on is Real Time.
Real time.
I feel like we should have like news sounds in the background. Today I have 4 news stories for our audience. The first one comes from TheGuardian.com. Jake Gyllenhaal will be starring in an adaptation of Tom Clancy's successful game, The Division.
There's going to be a movie?
Yep, there's going to be a movie. So not only will Gyllenhaal be acting in this movie, he is also set to produce the project. Ubisoft's game, The Division, was a record-breaking $330 million within the first 5 days of sales.
Dang.
The game. Yeah.
Did you buy that game?
No, I didn't. I played the beta.
Nice.
Wasn't sold on it. I don't really like MMOs and like that type of, game. I mean, it
Right.
seems interesting, but it's not my cup of tea.
If it was Star Wars, I'd probably buy it.
Maybe. I like stuff more of like story driven, and I'm not really into like you just grind away and keep doing the same things, But it definitely seems like a cool concept. And the fact they're making a movie. I mean, if I watch the movie and I like the movie, it might get me into the game,
Maybe.
That's
Why don't they do? I'm sure they have other Tom Clancy books that were made into movies, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Hunt for Red October, I believe, is a Tom Clancy.
Okay, I didn't know it was Tom Clancy. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, there's more. I just can't pull them out of my brain right now. The next story comes from Forbes.com. Netflix will begin exclusive streaming of Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar movies in September.
Nice.
In a blog post on its official site, Netflix revealed the seeds it planted back in 2012 will finally come to fruition.
Fruition?
Yeah, sorry. will finally come to fruition later this year.
Nice.
Starting in September, the contract between the streaming platform and Disney will go into effect, with Netflix holding the exclusive U.S. rights to Disney films. This includes not just films under Disney brand, but also its Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar subsidies.
Yeah.
So there was some rumors going around that they were going to release their entire, I guess, collection of like classics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Yeah. Not true.
That was a rumor.
Yeah. You
that-
heard it here first.
Yeah, they might be putting some of their classics up there, but they don't expect the whole library of every
I
beloved
think
Disney movie.
as soon as something goes to DVD, from
It might mean from here on out.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what. That's
I don't
what
know if it means like back catalog.
they're going to have a lot of Disney films, but they're not going to have your old Star Wars films because those rights, those streaming rights, I think are under 20th Century Fox or Paramount sometimes. They're really weird.
Yeah,
But I think 2016 and on, once
it's
the movie,
Netflix.
yeah,
So September 2016 and on.
right, once the movie goes from theater to DVD release, that's when it'll be available streaming on Netflix.
So I'm guessing Netflix will have a soon-to-be price increase
Oh,
because
I don't
of
know.
this.
They've got what 52 million subscribers now.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe.
see.
I mean, okay, so
I mean, not that that's bad. I mean, I'd still pay if Netflix.
I'd pay $15.
If they,
whoa,
yeah,
whoa. I hope Netflix isn't listening, but I'd probably pay $15.
I would probably
a month for
too.
Netflix.
If they had enough stuff up there and it was constantly being updated. Yeah, $15 for versus a cable bill, it's $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so this also means that people like Amazon or content providers like Amazon Prime and Stars who actually have Disney content now will no longer be able to have that
they'll
content.
be able to sell it, they just won't be able to stream it.
Yeah, they can't stream it.
Right.
Yeah,
It
so
can't just be in
Amazon
the
will be able
library.
to sell it on their site, exactly, but
Right.
the Amazon Instant Video, they won't be able to have it up there.
Yeah. So I think that's huge news for Netflix, and I think we're gonna see all the streaming services like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu start going to buy certain rights to certain films or certain franchises, and we'll only be able to watch Disney on Netflix or
Yeah.
Universal on Amazon. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to this because I think this is going to increase the niche TV streaming audience and get us away from cable.
Yeah, streaming, I mean, is the future. We have it with movies, TV, music, and games are now starting to go in that direction.
college.
College
you
is
could
streaming.
you could stream your own college classes. I mean, you could.
Yeah, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
And so my next story comes from Yahoo.com. Jeremy Irons says Batman vs Superman criticism was deserved.
What?
Yeah. So Jeremy Irons, who played Alfred in Batman vs Superman, I find this hilarious because he's playing Alfred in like the movie they're filming now too.
Oh no.
So he basically just trash talked a movie that was in and that he's still in the series that's
he already
going
signed
on.
his contract. He don't care.
I don't know. Is that how that goes?
I
He can
guess.
badmouth now whatever he wants.
I don't know if he's bad mouthing. I just think he's giving some validation to some of the criticism.
So as you may have listened in our first episode, we reviewed Batman vs Superman, and we both generally liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah, there was some problems with the movie, but
for sure.
But I think we disagreed with most of people's opinions that it was trash. I enjoyed it, and I will probably buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Are you gonna buy the extended rated R cut?
I am, and I was wondering we should do like a re-review of the extended cut to see if it improves it at all.
Pass.
You want to?
Yeah, pass.
I think that'd be cool. If you want us to do that, tweet out or message us on Facebook.
Yeah, send us an email.
Send us an email. At where? What's our email?
Actually, send us mail.
Snail.
We enjoy
Paper mail.
If
We
enough
want a
people
wax
start
stamp
sending
on
us-
the back. You
yeah,
have your seal, family
yes,
seal.
if enough
too.
people start sending us mail, we'll have mail time.
Yeah. But what's our email?
2mentalkingmovies@gmail.com.
There you go. 2mentalkingmovies@gmail.com. It's easy. 2mentalkingmovies@gmail.
Our resident address is. Moving on, and we don't want to give them that. Our studio.
Nah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, so this is what I just want to read what Jeremy Irons said before we move on real quick. I think this is what he says about Batman vs Superman. I think the next one will be simpler. The script is certainly a lot smaller. It's more linear. And then he goes on to say, I'm tired. Or I'm sorry. And then he goes on to say, I'm tied into the Batman at the minute, which is nice because it's a bit of income. So, yes, he's in the new Batman movie and the Justice League movie. When asked about the film being panned, Irons said, deservedly so. I mean, it took 800 million, so the kicking didn't matter, but it was sort of overstuffed. Overstuffed is a nice way of dancing around the movie, shoehorning in the meta-human storyline, while also trying to preserve the Batman vs Superman mythos. So what our listeners don't know is Peter actually walked out while I was reading that. Oh, he just walked back in. So he thought he was smooth. I was going to start talking trash about you and just slip that in the episode without you knowing.
You're gonna talk trash about me?
Yeah.
At Peace Rock? It's Peace Rock, for God's sakes.
So the last bit of news I have comes from IGN.com. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, will undergo 4 weeks of reshoots. Usually reshoots doesn't mean good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's usually a bad sign.
So does the article go on to say why? Because
Yeah, so according to THR, which confirmed the original report.
The Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah, so what they say is they go on, a new report claims Disney brass are not fully
What does that
satisfied.
mean?
I don't
Disney brass.
I don't know.
They got generals up there or
Yeah,
something?
Disney brass, I guess, yeah, like their
Admirals?
leaders, are not fully satisfied with director Gareth Edwards' current cut of Rogue One, a Star Wars story,
I wonder if he made it too edgy.
and have ordered the production to commence 4 weeks of expensive reshoots in July. They use the word expensive.
Expensive.
Yeah, so it sounds like some big...
All the actors just got depressed because they're like, well, there goes my paycheck.
I don't know. According to New York Post, they did on their page 6, they said that Disney is in quotation, is what they said, a panic over Rogue One.
No.
Yeah, Disney is in a panic over. Citing an unnamed insider who claims Rogue One has fallen short of what J.J. Abrams did with Star Wars Episode 7.
What?
Yeah. An unnamed Disney source
I wonder if he
said
knows the brass.
the filmmaking team and the studio always anticipated additional shooting and second unit work to make the film the absolute best it can be. The actors were aware there would be additional shooting. Coming off The Force Awakens, there's an incredibly high bar for this movie, and we have a responsibility to the franchise and to the fans to deliver the best possible movie we can.
Wow.
Now, they go on to say, it should be noted that reshoots are common, but the way they're making this sound, how they say that they're in a panic and
I'm a little concerned.
they
because
use the word panic in quotation marks.
if Disney brass are panicked this soon into making Star Wars films, I think we're a little bit in trouble.
Yeah, I would say that this movie's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean if they don't like, because okay, we're not taking away from The Force Awakens. It was great. We loved it. But it wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't anything that it wouldn't go in my top Star Wars movies. I mean, I wouldn't put it above Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi or New Hope. I would probably put it right there behind those three, the originals. But if Rogue One doesn't meet Force Awakens standards, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and find out this winter, right? It comes out in December.
Well, they say.
Yeah.
If they're not happy with the reshoots, then
This isn't the first time we've heard of reshoots recently, too. Suicide Squad went back for reshoots.
yeah.
But
For more comedy, right?
I don't know. That was what was assumed of that movie, but the actors made it sound different. They were just like, we're just adding some extra stuff. But we'll see. So that's the end of Real Time. This episode is brought to you by Bookables. You can go and find Bookables at youtube.com/user/bookables. That's youtube.com/user/bookables. And tell them Two Men Talking Movies sent you. So I got an email from a listener this week. It asked, this comes from Michelle. Michelle says, "Hey guys, love the podcast. I love watching movies, and I also love listening to you guys talk about movies. Throughout my life, I've had some movies make some very big impacts on my life. What are some movies that have impacted your lives?" So, Peter, I thought this was a great question, short and to the point, but it was a great topic. And so this week, as I spoke to you before off the podcast about that, I wanted to record an episode talking about this. This is our topic. We're not reviewing a movie this week. We're going to talk about this question. What are some movies that have impacted our lives?
All right, who's up first?
Should we ping pong this or should we just go straight?
Let's go straight, and you go first.
All right. So I have. So one of these I want to talk about is actually two movies, but I watched them around the same time, and they both made an impact on me the same. So, and they were both kind of the same movie, kind of the same type of story.
Hercules
Yeah, Hercules
with
and
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
no, I've never seen that. So I'll get to the one I'm talking about in a minute. But the first one I would like to talk about was one of the most recent ones I watched that really impacted my life was Interstellar.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. So something about myself is one of the things I've always had a fear of, and I don't know what the phobia, is called, but I have a fear of time, if that makes sense.
It's really ironic that your segment's called Real Time,
It is, yeah.
Facing Your Fears.
I am. We have to do it one step at a time.
Bingo. One foot in front of the other, as Jack Frost would say.
Yeah. So I've always had this fear of time moving on and me wasting time and me getting to a point in time and looking back and feeling like it's going. Like I don't like, how when you were younger, time went by slow. You had time to enjoy it, time to enjoy time, and you could just take everything. It seemed like, remember when Christmases and birthdays seemed like a lifetime apart?
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it was
Oh,
crazy.
when's my birthday?
The summer was so long, the school year was long, everything went by so slow. And everybody reaches this point. I don't know when it is. I don't, it might be 18, maybe when you graduate. I don't know. When was it for you? I don't know. It just kind of crept up on me.
When did what reach what for me?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. This moment of time seems like it's just speeding by.
Oh, probably, I would say about 2-3 years ago.
Really?
I bought my house.
When you bought your house, that's when
Yes.
it yeah.
It just freaking sped up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like, everyone's asking where your kids are at. And you're like, I don't know. I don't have any kids yet.
Yeah. I guess it's the aspect of adults being involved in a routine, right? We go to
Yeah.
work, we come home, we hang out on weeknights and weekends, and it's the same routine over and over again. And we get in this routine, and it causes us to process everything, I guess, faster. We're not taking in the moments.
Well, I think the busier we become, the faster time goes by.
Yeah.
And as kids, we got one thing to do: go to school, go home, do your homework, play video games. That's about it. That's what your life consists of.
And I think as kids too, you're constantly looking forward to events, right?
Right. So you're always looking forward to the next event. But for us as adults, and the more involved we get with church, with charities, with work events, with work,
School, kids,
yeah, graduations, blah, 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 you name it.
movies.
Times go by. Yeah, right. We're looking for time to watch movies. We're looking for time to do stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's no time to do anything,
Right.
right? You don't have time to do anything anymore.
So I think a lot of it is time management. And one of the things I've been focusing on is a passion planner and learning to manage my time and what I'm passionate about. Two Men Talking Movies is one of those things. So making time for that. So why did Interstellar help you face that fear, or it increased that fear for you, or
Well, what it was is one of the scenes that really impacted me was when, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen Interstellar, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk about it. One of the scenes is when Matthew McConaughey's character comes back from the water planet, right? They go down to this planet that's filled with water, and there's this wave going around, It's a small planet, and the wave goes around every
Right.
like hour or something like that.
Yeah.
So as they land on this planet, time speeds up though. So for the time, right before they leave, the guy's like, "Okay, well, if you're there for an hour, that's like what 50 years
No, it
in
was
real time."
20. It was
20
20
years or something like, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, well, we got to go down there and get up here fast. Like, it's obviously going to be a couple years. And so they go, and what happens is they lose control of the situation and they end up being there for a while and they come back. And when they come back, the guy they left on their space station or spaceship or whatever is they open the doors and he's old. He's an old man. He's aged. And that point of seeing that, like you just saw on screen, them go somewhere for just a couple minutes and then they come back and a lifetime has like almost gone by, you know?
Yeah, what was interesting was that the guy who sent the beacon out died probably moments before.
Right, moments before, but
They reached him,
yeah.
but they received it like
Years ago, yeah.
years ago. So yeah, I think that's a take I've never really heard. I've seen that movie twice because it's such a great movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that movie semi addresses and
Uh-huh.
asks. This one thing about Nolan, he asks a lot of questions in
Yeah.
his movie, and he lets you answer them. And other movie or other things in that movie are really really interesting. We could probably spend another episode talking about that. But
Yeah.
that's a really interesting take. That's a great take actually.
Yeah,
on that
and
movie.
so then when Matthew McConaughey goes and sits down and watches all the video diaries and video messages he's gotten that he's missed over the past 20 years or so, and he's just taking it all, and he's watching his kids grow up within minutes in front of him, you know, and he's crying and like, you know, it's just emotional and that, not that I fear that I'm gonna get in that situation of going through a planet, you know, that where
Right.
time will pass faster, but I don't know that I've had that fear of just like you look back and things have gone by and you're just like, where has time gone? What did I spend it on? Like,
Right.
I also I don't necessarily have a fear of death myself, but I have a fear of losing those around me. I would much rather die than have to live through my wife dying, my parents dying, my grandparents dying.
Right.
You know, like
No, I would agree with
I
that.
don't want
That's
to
pretty.
I don't want to have to process that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never really heard that take on Interstellar before, but I did see something. I think it was on Twitter or something. I think it was the CEO of maybe it was Dropbox. He gave like 3 words of wisdom to this graduating class, and he said 30,000 is a number you need to remember because 30,000 is the amount of days that you're probably going to have in a normal lifespan. And when you break down, because a year is a long span for us,
Yeah.
and 80 years is a very long time. It's hard to process that, but 30,000 days is something that to me is a little easier to process because you can process $30,000 in a matter of minutes for sure. And to me, my fear is not living a life that's impactful with the time I have.
Okay.
Not necessarily having time, I guess, wasting time, because if you're wasting time, you're not being impactful. But living a life that isn't impactful at all.
Something like meaningless.
Correct.
Yeah.
Leaving an impact, whether it's my name or whether it's the impact I leave on my children or whatever the case may be, or people or my community. That's one of my fears. And I think that movie also addresses that fear with what was Matthew McConaughey's character?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, his character also wanted to leave a lasting impact for his kids. That's what was his driving force the whole movie, was leaving a better world or leading his family to a better world, which he was able to do, which was really awesome. So I really like that movie as well. That's a great one.
Yeah, so the next one I have, which I'm going to combine 2 in, is, you're going to laugh when you hear this, Twilight and The Notebook.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so both of these movies. So the first one, I would say,
my.
Twilight is a garbage movie. The whole series is garbage. Terrible movies.
Okay. All right.
The Notebook, I actually think is a good movie.
The Notebook is a great movie.
It's a good movie. It's moving. But something that both of these movies, kind of around the same time when I saw them, both impacted my life on was, at the time I was in a relationship, and I guess you can say Have you ever been in a relationship that you were in a relationship but you didn't know why?
No.
No.
Like a friendship
No, like a
with another girl?
yeah.
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Stephanie was really you dated her all through high school.
Oh yeah, I knew she
Yeah.
was the one the moment she tripped through the classroom door.
Nice.
That's her. That's it.
Yeah.
Locking it down.
Tripped into your life. But yeah, so I'm sure other people can relate to this, but sometimes we as people get into relationships with people and we don't not that it's a waste of time, but I was in a relationship with someone that I didn't really love. Right? And I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life with that person, right? And so after watching after and I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life with this person. And so after watching Twilight and The Notebook in this span of a couple weeks, it made me realize that. And so that made me make a choice of breaking that relationship off. And so if that would have never, if I wouldn't have broken that relationship off, I don't know, where that would have gone if I would have continued to be in that relationship or whatever. But that was a moment I remember in my life where movies actually impacted a decision I made.
Wow.
And one of them being Twilight, which is out of all the movies.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what it was is I saw these characters in this movie, and not that Hollywood exaggerates what relationships are,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right? And but I didn't even have the bare minimum of what these people had in their relationships. I didn't feel the way they were feeling, the sacrifices they wanted to make, it was it was their drive for love and all that. I didn't have any of that. And so after watching those movies, I started thinking, I was like, I don't have any of that in my relationship, and I want that.
Right.
So it pushed me to make that decision.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's weird that Twilight had an impact.
I
on
know
your life.
it's embarrassing, but it did. So
Well, I'm glad you're telling
I don't
us.
suggest anyone, if you've seen that movie or you haven't seen that movie, don't go watch it.
If you're in a relationship on the rocks, don't watch Twilight. Is that what you're telling people or no?
Watch The Notebook. It'll do the same thing,
Okay, there you go.
and
Watch
it's a
the
better
movie.
movie.
All right, what's your third one?
My
There's two. Were those 2 and 3?
That was 1 and 2. I combined both of those.
Okay.
So the third movie that impacted my life, which is probably the most notorious and critically acclaimed of all of these movies I've mentioned, is Schindler's List. And the part of Schindler's List that really impacted me was the very end, when our main character is, everything, the war is ending, things are falling apart for the Nazis, and you see our main character saying, he's looking around at what he has, and everyone's like, oh, you did such a great job, it's over, and instead of being joyful, he's saddened because he sees he still has his ring, his watch, he has all these material things, and he's saying to himself, no, I could have done more. Like, I didn't do enough. There's more people I could have saved, but I overlooked these little things in my life, and basically distractions or stuff I had. And it ends, with you seeing this, just the distress in his face, and him just, he's almost crying out in pain of like, what have I done? And so the whole movie, you've seen him help these imprisoned Jews, and help them, escape and do good. And you're like, why are you complaining at the end of this movie? But so the part of that movie, that part just, I guess kind of back to what we were saying about me being afraid of time. This isn't so much time, but it's kind of goes in with that I am afraid of, like what you said, of wasting potential. Right. Keeping your eyes open for things of meaning, for chances. And you and I both, I guess, can relate to this, since we both identify as Christian. We both have believe in a higher power and in an afterlife and that things happen for a reason. So it fueled this for me, this feeling of that I don't want to waste time. I don't want to miss a chance of me of me doing something good, of me helping someone, of me missing out on something in life that I'm supposed to do. And I do believe that people are somewhat, I guess, we make our own choices, but I do believe that there are things we're meant to do, right, as
Oh
individuals.
yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have a purpose,
Mhm.
and we can choose how we live out that purpose in our lives. And it goes back to our previous conversation of having the most impact,
Yeah.
spreading the most love, having the most impact on a community, that type of thing. Yeah, I think I've seen Schindler's List. I think I saw it at a when did that come out? In the '90s, late '90s, early 2000s.
90s, I believe, yes.
'90s. I think I saw that movie, and I think I saw it when I was too young because I don't really think I appreciated it. I probably should go back and watch that movie.
Gotcha. So I have one more. This is gonna be my fifth one. I'm gonna count the two because that's cheating. I'm not gonna cheat. So Twilight and The
Wow.
Notebook count.
You could have just said The Notebook, though.
I could have, but they both.
Watching those movies back to back.
Well, there was like a span. It was like in a year. So I have one was Interstellar, two was The
Right.
Notebook, three was Twilight, four was Schindler's List. My last one is Jaws. So Jaws impacted me in a way where when you see a movie that to this day I still am slightly afraid of when I'm in the ocean
Really?
because of that movie. Yeah. So I do try to. I like going to the beach. I like swimming. I like to ride the surf, and every time I get in the water, there is a slight fear. It's died off as I get older, but there's still a slight fear just from seeing that movie. The impact of seeing people get attacked by that shark.
Yeah. I think you're definitely right. I think
Yeah.
most people who go to the beach, that's what resonates in the back of their mind is the fact that there is a possible, because it is a real thing.
Mhm.
And who directed that? Spielberg?
Yeah,
That's right.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg. I mean, you would have thought that would have been done so much sooner. That type of movie. I'm sure. I guess it was, but it wasn't to that extent. But I think everyone that's why that movie I guess will never die. Jaws, because everyone still has that thought of like, what if there's a shark out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, that's my five. So sorry if that was long.
No.
Okay.
That's a pretty good list, man.
And these movies don't. Let me add this too: is these movies don't represent our favorite movies. These are just movies that, for whatever reason, had an impact on our lives at the time we saw them, and maybe still to this day. So
All right. So the first movie I want to go over is not necessarily my favorite movie, but as a kid, this movie came out when I was. So Joe and I are children of the early '90s, right? I'm a '90 kid.
yeah, born 1990.
90. So that dates us. But this movie, I wasn't allowed to watch until I was like 9 or 10 years old. So I think it puts it maybe 8 years after it was released. But Jurassic Park is a movie that had a huge impact on my life because my parents never wanted me to watch the movie because they said it was way too scary and that I wasn't ready for that type of movie. And they were right. I should have listened to them. It was one of those movies that scared me first because of all the different dinosaurs that came out, but I was also in like shock of how real everything looked.
Yeah.
So it was kind of my first grasp of special effects in a movie, and I guess appreciation because it scared me to the point because it looked so real. So Tyrannosaurus Rex eating the guy off the toilet is a memory that
I love the scene when he runs in there. He's like, "Where's he going?" He's like, "I guess when you gotta go, you gotta go."
So I could feel the horror coming from those kids who are running around the park, and it really. I will never go into another dinosaur park for sure.
So to this day, you're still afraid of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, the practical effects in that movie, you don't really see a lot of that anymore. of the actual mechanical props and use of masks and building actually props instead of green screen and
Yeah.
After Effects and
Yeah.
although there was some of that in there, but not as much.
Yeah. But I love Jurassic Park. I can watch that movie probably every 2 or 3 months and still really enjoy it.
Cool.
But next movie up is a movie that kind of opened my eyes a lot and also resonated with me because I was into sports when I was in high school. I still am. Love watching basketball, football, baseball, you name it.
You love watching sports now.
Yeah.
You played them at
I
one time.
played them. I'm not very good at them. But a movie that really resonated with me in the team atmosphere and also from a wider perspective was the movie Remember the Titans. I believe one of our teachers actually brought it in as an educational type of film. And it really helped me understand the problems, the diversity issues that, what was it, 1970s America had, 1960s America had. And it was not really something I had ever really experienced because I went to a pretty diverse school, and it's not ever something I really realized. I knew it was there, but Remember the Titans really opened my eyes to a lot of the cultural problems that our country has gone through and how we should never, ever be in that type of situation again. So that had a huge impact on my life from that perspective because it first introduced me to, as a kid, to the race problems that the United States had and I guess still has. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Did you see Remember the Titans?
Of course. Who hasn't seen that movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen Fairly Common movies, so I wasn't sure if you
Oh,
had seen
okay.
it.
Well, we weren't all sheltered like you, so
Gosh.
sorry. Was that mean?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was sheltered, but yeah, I did get to watch that movie. Yeah, I love the scene when the guy Sunshine, like they're
Yeah.
joking or whatever, and he like
He kisses
the dude. He's like, "What the heck, man?" Yeah, and yeah, and then the other dude when he tackles him, he's like, "Yeah, you better get comfortable down there."
Pretty sure that was my first Ryan Gosling sighting too. So
Was that Ryan Gosling?
he was in the he was one of the wide receivers.
Whoa, I did not put that together. I'll have to go back and watch that.
And also like every time that linebacker dies,
Oh man,
ugh, it just like eats my heart away.
sad. Yeah, yeah, because you see these two characters who were total opposites, had some racial tension between them, and some competitive tension.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the movie, they're best friends.
Like strong side, weak side,
Yeah.
strong. I mean, it was just like I almost cry every time I see that movie.
Great character development in that movie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Of course, Denzel.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, what a classic Denzel movie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Next movie that had a huge impact on my life. So I'm down to I guess
This is number 3.
3.
Yeah.
I guess it did and it didn't because of how my life has turned out. But Saving Private Ryan.
So you were gonna go into the military?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As a teenager, I was going to go. I was just boom. I was going to be in the military. I just knew it. And that movie, along with a few other movies, Longest Day.
That's a classic, The Longest Day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that John Wayne in that one?
There's a ton of people in that movie. John Wayne. The list goes on. So that compared with a few other war movies, really compelled me to want to join the military, and it also maybe had an appreciation for the military, so much so that I wanted to join the military. Obviously, I never joined the military, but it's partly because my grandfather talked me out of it. Many a times he talked me out of it, and my grandfather was a former chief in the Navy, and he wanted me to go to college and do something different besides going to the Navy, but which had an impact on my life because I went to college and did something other different than the Navy. But that movie really resonates with me, not only from an appreciation for what our country had to do in stopping a horrible evil from taking over a better part of the civilized world, and I mean, also outside of that, in a war setting where you have to fight a war and people's lives are in danger, they go to rescue someone for the sake of his brothers dying, to bring him back to his family so he isn't the last brother to die. To me, was just tells an even greater human story, more so than the overall story of World War II. So that movie had a huge impact on my life, and it showed me, I think, for the first time, how real war was. I think Vin Diesel's in that movie, and when he dies after trying to save that kid,
I think you're right. Yeah, he is on
because
there.
it showed several times where they were trying to do human things during a very inhuman situation, where a sniper is trying to pick off American soldiers who are trying to do the right thing by helping a family. So it showed the realness of the war when they were coming off the beach, and it was just something that impacted me. And every time I see photos of D-Day, I think back to that movie, and I think back to what people had to do, had to die on that beach in order for us to remain free.
Yeah, definitely. The opening scene of that movie is intense, and seeing all these people storm Normandy and coming out of those amphibious vehicles, it's crazy. And the film probably didn't even come close to how brutal it was, and the film it's extreme. So definitely was an eye opener seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie that's had a huge impact on my life from probably a cultural standpoint is not really a cultural standpoint, but it's driven a lot of things I've bought.
You gonna say the barbershop? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Star Wars. Can I use all of those? Can I use the one trilogy?
How does Star Wars have a cultural impact on you? Like now you understand
went ba-
Twi'leks now or something? Or?
No. I have become a master Jedi. That's why. No, just kidding. No, Star Wars was my first real introduction into like space type movies, and it really has kind of like driven some of the movies I've watched, some of the books I've read, and I would watch those movies as a kid on rerun because I remember my parents getting me the VHS black and golden edition set, and I would just watch New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi, and I would just watch them, and it's one of the reasons why I bought some of the art that I've bought. I read some of the books that I've read, and I play the games I play because of that movie, and it's kind of like driven some of the decisions I've made in my life to purchase those types of things. So it has had an impact because I mean it was just it's a cultural phenomenon right now. Star Wars is,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to see Disney reviving it, and hopefully they do a good job with Star Wars moving on.
Cool. So that was number 4.
Number 4.
What is the last one? What is number 5?
Number 5. So the last movie that had a pretty big impact on my life was one a little bit more recently by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street. Really, it's not something I would see as a kid or a teenager or anything like that. It's definitely a movie you should watch in the right time frame. But that movie points out in so many different ways the corruption and the greed that can encapsulate someone who's has no other desire but to make money. And so in my position, and I work in sales, it's very easy to get into the notion of what's self-serving, what benefits me the most rather than other people. And it really opened my eyes to the corruptness on Wall Street and how they put people in positions to serve themselves and make them the most commission versus helping the client and being the right fiduciary for their client. And it also shows the depravity of man, how that greed, when it just enrages you, how far you'll go and the things you'll do in your life to either forget that or get away from that. And it's shown by the amount of drugs that those guys take and the amount of prostitutes that those people hire. So I know not every film is 100% accurate, but I thought that movie did a very good job of showing how someone who really just wants to make a living for their family can go from that into this enraged financial monster who's willing to do anything to make a dollar, even if it means lying to the government and lying to shareholders. So that had a huge impact on my life and really put that in perspective for me.
Yeah, because he definitely, going into the beginning of the movie, he wants to do, basically, he wants to take care of his family. That's his goal.
Right.
Is get a job, take care of his wife, and settle down. And as he gets more involved with his lucrative job
Right.
that he goes into his career, he starts to transform into this, as the movie goes, Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
He turns into this crook.
Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, totally different character from at the end of the movie from what you saw at the beginning.
And I'll say this because I know we probably have a few Christian listeners too who would go and look at Wolf of Wall Street as a movie that they should never see as a Christian because it exemplifies and glorifies a lifestyle that Christians shouldn't pertain. And I actually think that's the reason you should go see the movie, is because that movie, even though there is what quote unquote is called objectionable elements with nudity and cocaine and all the other drinking and the greed, it's not something that we should dwell on, but it's something that we should see the ramifications. And we should definitely learn from that so that it doesn't grow in my life and your life. But I think it tells a really, really good story of a person turning into a monster who had great intentions.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw recently. I didn't know that movie has broke records for the most foul language used. In a
Really?
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
was I want to say the F word was used around in the hundreds or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a interesting story, and there's definitely some mature stuff in it. If you can get past it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It
From
pains-
storytelling, from filmmaking, everything. Every aspect of that movie is from the very beginning. It's got a pretty mature first scene that they
Right.
show, but you're glued to the story.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's real. It's reality that happens. So you can choose to deny that happens, or you can learn from it. So, anyways,
Yeah. So interesting. Wow. So I hope that our listeners, that's a little bit into our lives and movies that have impacted us. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And Peter, do you have anything else you want to say?
peace out.
Goodbye.
Told man talking movies.